Hey friends, welcome to Skyline Stroll. Today we got a little less fun a topic. We're going to be talking a bit about malicious business practices, the addiction economy, and how I really kind of see it as the world drug us where we are now, like mental illness, stress, depression. They run rampant in the modern world. Almost everyone has pretty serious issues with all of the things I just mentioned. And I don't think it's a coincidence. I think the world we live in kind of causes exactly what we're here to talk about today. So I'm getting ready to head out for my week trip, but I just saw something this morning that made me want to film this real quick and talk about it. And so when it comes to business practices, it starts out way when we're younger. Schools don't quite serve the function we want them to. They're more accurately a tool for the corporate world to take advantage of people. They teach you how to sit stagnantly in a chair and react to a bell every hour or so, basically gearing you up for life in a warehouse. And I don't know about you, nothing wrong with the people who genuinely want a life of manufacturing, but for me, I don't. And so school failed me just out the door. And it goes a little deeper than that. School systems really have a high tolerance for bullying and havoc. A lot of nepotism occurs in schools, and we've all heard the math teacher say, "You're not always going to have a calculator in your pocket," I say into my calculator as I record. And literature, same deal. Grammar is important, spelling's important. Penmanship? What function does penmanship serve in the modern world? And schools are also used to teach us to consume. We got the school book fair, we got the little school store. You can either eat a sad PB&J or buy a fancier lunch. And so school also just kind of feels like more commercialism, more commerce. And we don't really, I don't know about you, but I haven't used a day of my education in my adult life. I really haven't. And I don't really see that changing. Specifically if I went to college, maybe that would change it. But otherwise, I just don't see that changing. So we spend all this time and money, we get conditioned, and what do we have to show for it? A piece of paper that lets us go get a menial job that doesn't pay the bills. Not even really college, because if you don't have a certain GPA, you don't get to go to college. You just get to go get that McJob, and those don't pay the bills. It's that simple. You're not gonna make a living off $15-16 an hour. You're just not gonna live off that. And so I'm not gonna rant about schools the whole time, but I did kind of want to address that. I've thought about doing a whole video on the school system. We'll see if I care enough to, though. And so where else does the system fail us? Well, everywhere. With medicine, insurance became a scam. It doesn't help you. You pay for the insurance and then pay a premium on your meds, and then it doesn't even cover all the medical stuff you need. Sometimes certain surgeries, dental shit like that will just get blatantly left out of your insurance. It's a luxury. What, having teeth is a luxury? That's awesome. And predatory business models. In my lifetime, I have seen an era where not every business that you would encounter was predatory. But over the last decade, they have all become increasingly predatory, more and more each year. And because being a predatory business is so successful, if you try to do an earnest business model, what happens is you just get crushed by the competition relentlessly. And like, it's everything. My cards I love. People who watch my channel know I sometimes will open like packs of cards on the channel while I talk. It's predatory. It kind of always was, because it's gambling for kids, which is funny that it's been going on for 30 years and nobody's addressed it as actually what it is, which is gambling for kids. And on top of that, they get more predatory each year. And what I mean by that is now they play upon underprinting so that there's an increased demand and people like jump through hoops and pay premiums. They've gotten rid of MSRP. They've done things like this to really crank up their dollars and not have to offer something better to actually do it. And that's just silly cards. Tech is probably the most guilty of this by far. Our data gets more and more harvested each day and nobody's coming to our aid. The government isn't going to do anything to stop digital feudalism, even if they should. And rough topic, right? So data getting harvested, phones get more and more expensive and do the exact same thing they did 10 years ago. They don't do anything special now that they didn't then, except they're a little less user-friendly. Awesome. What? You downgraded it and are charging more? Huh? Make sense of that for me, please. Why are you doing those two things synonymously? If you're going to downgrade the product, drop the price. Fast food. I damn near can't enjoy a fast food burger. I used to love eating fast food, but the patties get slimmer each year. The bread looks like it's been crushed by an elephant, and they lather it in sauce. Like, if I wanted a McKetchup, I would have ordered a McKetchup. And so it's like, and then on top of that, I just described how much worse fast food was than it was 10 years ago. And they're going to charge us more? They're going to charge us $16 for a combo, and the burger is half as good as it used to be? I'll just make my own burger at home. Don't even get me started on things like DoorDash and Uber Eats and shit like that thanks to the pandemic have really normalized themselves in more metropolitan parts of the world. And because of that, food's crazy. Like, you order dinner, it shows up at your house, your total is $42, and you bought a burger and fries. What the hell? What the hell? Why am I paying that? Delivery ain't nothing new. We've had delivery as long as I've been alive. They used to deliver pizza out to my house all the time. And yeah, it costs a pinch more, as it should, but it didn't cost no $20 more. There wasn't a delivery fee, a shipping fee, a driving fee, whatever else. If you ever look at a DoorDash receipt, there's like 8 different fees lined up, and your $14 meal becomes $30 right fast. Awesome. Why would I do that when I can just go down to the place and order it? Because we're taught to chase convenience. It's literally taught to us. Commercials, celebrities, etc. They preach the value of convenience. And the world is so fast-paced that the value of convenience is artificially created, allowing it to be marketed upon, be preyed upon. Oh, busy with your 180-hour work week? Say no more, friend. Fast food can just be waiting at your door for you. It's just... And so the system at play takes advantage of you, and then takes advantage of the fact that they're taking advantage of you. If you have like a higher paying blue collar job, chances are you're going to break even on medical bills. Just outright. They're not going to be willing to pay for anything short of a genuine work-related injury. And if you get a work-related injury over time, they're going to try really hard to fight that that's an actual work injury. So Like my stepdad, his shoulder, his back, they're all in knots. He's got nerve damage. He's had like messed up discs. He's had a dozen surgeries, all because he works like a $30 an hour blue collar job. Because all that medicine he needs just to get by, he don't really pocket a bunch of money. It goes back into the pocket of the big pharmaceutical companies. Food. American food is downright designed to fuck you up. I don't say that lightly. It's downright designed to wreck you and send you on over to Big Pharma so they can farm your dollars. So we pay more here for food that is lower quality than the rest of the world. And then we wonder why we're always inflamed, always stressed out, always irritable. You ain't getting no nutrients. Even if you try, and here's the thing, I don't blame, people are like, oh, Americans always choose the unhealthy food. Bitch, where's the healthy food? Where's it at? It ain't here. Even the places that sell like Whole Foods half the time don't really have much whole food. It is almost impossible to buy bread in the state I live in. Unless you want to eat garbage. Unless you want that enriched wheat flour and messed up gluten and whatever else, you can't get clean bread in America. I mean, I'm only in one part of America, but the part of America I'm in, you literally can't get like, I mean, bread isn't healthy, but you can't get better bread. You can't get better pasta. You can't get healthier gluten. All that shit's designed to mess you up. 90% of our candy is illegal in the rest of the world, because they put addictive additives in the candy. And if they're putting addictive additives in the candy, God knows what they're doing to the rest of our food. And on top of food, things like legal marijuana. The secret ingredient is crime. It's cheaper and safer. Why would you stop going to your local dealer when a dispo opens? They put God knows what in that dispo weed. God knows what. Literal garbage. And it's like, so homie down the street who grows plants will sell it to me cheaper and it'll be natural. And I realize weed isn't like good for you, sure. But the point I'm trying to make is, you know, it's messed up when a drug dealer offers a more reputable service than a registered legal company. That's messed up. That's wholly messed up. And everything's like that. Tech. Look at how everything has slowly tried to turn into TikTok. I'll download a new app and be like, oh, where's the search bar? Where? And then it's sitting down in the middle of the bottom of the screen. And I'm just sitting there like, oh, of course it is. Because that's where the most used app on the internet has a search bar. More and more things want to make shorts, reels, short form addictive content that literally melts your brain to mush. And it ain't good. I know so many people who lose. I get wasting time. Sometimes it's okay to waste time, but they literally lose time to these apps. Lose it. And it's predatory. And every time we turn around, the government's coming after TikTok, but not because it's an actual problem that the people are facing. No. Because it's the one that they're not making money off of. They'd rather you be on YouTube Shorts. They're friends with Google. Google's not your friend. Give me back my headphone jack. Cheap Bluetooth headphones, if you've ever bought them, you know that they don't work well. They don't last long, they don't work well, and cheap corded headphones back in the day, you could get some real mileage out of them. This is just one of the 20 different forms of inflation that we deal with. They'll change products to where we have to buy the more expensive thing. Oh, Bluetooth headphones. One more thing I gotta plug in and run on my electricity. Awesome, that bill wasn't high enough already. And yeah, we got genuine inflation where they just raise the price. We got shrinkflation where they decrease the item you get. We got things like that where they just casually shoehorn you into buying the product they want you to buy instead of the product you want to buy. You're not allowed to prevent your phone from updating easily. And what I mean by that is, Eric, well, why would you not want your phone to update? Half of the time when your phone's updating, there isn't even an update. Your morning gets interrupted, whatever you were doing on your phone gets interrupted by 20 minutes of updating just for them to collect your data and your phone to go back to normal. Cool. Glad that was so important. And like, phones get more expensive, their accessories get more expensive, and then every single app in the App Store is always freemium, where you download it and then half of the app is paywalled. So it's a money hole. And then third spaces are dying, so they want us to spend more time on this stupid device that is farming you. It's farming you. You are cattle. You are digital cattle. I don't know how else to word it. We are digital cattle. We are the cows of the internet. We are farmed for our attention. And the internet puts a little less effort into disguising that with each passing year. People get depressed. It's hard to find a job that pays any form of the bills, almost at all. And when you do, it's almost like you're required to abandon self-respect at the door. Like, companies are so weirdly occult and require you to, like, basically self-whip. They kind of condition you to have a codependency on your job almost. It's really gross. And, like, those little personality tests you have to do before you do a job interview, or not even an interview, before the application, that shit's so degrading. So degrading. And it's like, but it's the hoop we're made to jump through. We don't get a choice in it. You want the job? Do the silly personality test. Awesome. And then hell, we do like 100 applications and half of them aren't even actually hiring. They're just collecting your hiring data because they can. It's more data that they can get for free. Great. Great. And then when people do get sick of it, they do start to preach things like less company loyalty, like prioritizing your loved ones, like anti-consumerism. Oh, suddenly you're basically on par with terrorists. Huh? I'm just trying to take back some ground in a world that seems to shrink a little bit each year. I saw a video other day titled, Modern Life is Mental Illness. And it's accurate. Every time I've held a 9 to 5, I've been depressed. I've yet to have one that made me think, I could do this forever, or I like what I'm doing, or I'm even proud of what I'm doing. Never. Never had one of those. And because our bosses feel the same way and they've been doing it for a decade, they treat us like shit. They always treat you like shit. People expect it. It's like a stereotype that managers are going to be dill holes. That's how I look at management these days. It's like, dude, you can barely afford your home, and you hate what you're doing, and you've done it for 15 years, and you're going to sit here and tell me how great it is and how I need to do exactly what you're doing? Huh? Are you okay? See a therapist. Oh, wait. Those help condition you to be better workers. They're not even worried about actually fixing your problem. Great. And it's sad. It's sad. So people wonder where all the depression, all the hate, all the frustration comes from. How about the fact that we get a little less free time each year? How about the fact that more and more of our free time get eaten up by things that are designed to eat up our free time and prey upon us each year? How about the fact that business models have to be malicious and addictive, or they just don't work? Mom and pop shops are damn near extinct because things are extra hostile to the idea of a mom and pop shop. These big companies don't want more competition. They want you gone. And if you're actually offering a service, they plan to buy you and be done with it and figure out how to make that service predatory. A lot of the best things out there started out great. Look at Alienware computers back in the day. They were seen as the top of the line quality computers. Now they're just junky laptops you overpay for. Great. I bought a pair of sweats at the start of the month, and I own pants that are 10 years old. I ain't even kidding. And these sweats, after wearing them twice, already look really wore out. They look horrible. They're frayed. They look bad. And it's seriously, I wore those twice. And they're already falling apart. So stop shopping. And people will ask, well, this shit is so in place, what can we do about it except just try to live our lives? And that is a actually terrific way of looking at it. One of the big points I try to make on my channel is we do live in a very bleak world. And it's our job to try and make our life not bleak in spite of that. But we can't put our heads in the sand. That's the problem I see, is that everyone who can see what's going on in the world either becomes a tinfoil hat doomer who's preaching the doom of all and won't leave their house, or they've put their head in the sand. I'd like to preach a middle ground where we acknowledge these problems, where we do something about these problems, where we be a little bit honest about it, but we don't let it stop us from living our lives. I've talked a little bit about revenge saving. There you go. You want to do something about the corporate world? Stop shopping. It's that simple. And you're like, well, everyone else is going to shop. And I'm like, that mindset is the problem. It's the same problem of politics. Well, it's impossible to elect third party. Yeah, as long as you keep saying that, it's going to remain impossible to elect third party. So, start with yourself. Lead by example. Don't shop. Limit your screen time. Be real choosy with the apps you use. Hit the man where it hurts, even if the man is too big to notice you hitting them there. Maybe eventually they'll suffer a death by 1,000 cuts. In the meantime, people who have career quality jobs still have to have a side hustle. They still got a DoorDash. They still got to have a YouTube account. They still need to drop ship or resell or whatever else. You can't get by on one income. Hell, you can't even really get by on two anymore. And these companies want us to kiss their feet. You can't pay my bills, and you want me to worship you? Huh? Get bent. Alright guys, I'm going to wrap this one up here. It's already getting a little longer, and I don't even know if I'm going to post this one because it is downright negative and bleak, but I don't think putting our head in the sand is the answer to the corporate world. Thank you for watching. Have a lovely day, and try not to let topics like this one have too much of a sway on your mood, and try not to let them live too rent-free in your head. It's a lot ugly.